We've been telling you about the Red Sea crisis, how Houthis based in Yemen have been attacking ships, how a US-led coalition has been striking them with missiles, and how all of this has been hurting global trade. This has been going on for more than a month. What will it take to stop the Houthis? Can China do it? I'll tell you why I ask. The Red Sea trade disruption affects everyone, but especially China, because China greatly benefits from the Red Sea trade to Europe. And now it is feeling the pinch, like everyone else, which explains a new report doing the rounds. China is apparently trying to get the Houthis to back down. Our next report tells you how.
The situation in the Red Sea has escalated sharply recently, and China is deeply concerned about this. China calls for a halt to the harassment and attacks on civilian ships and for the maintenance of the smooth flow of global industrial and supply chains and the international trade order.
That was China's foreign minister a few days ago. He called for a halt to the harassment and attacks on civilian ships. It was the most anti-Houthi stance China has publicly taken. But privately, it's another story. A new report is out. It says Beijing is applying pressure, trying to get the Red Sea attacks to stop. And this pressure isn't being applied directly on the Houthis, it's on their backers, Iran. Iran is widely known to support the Yemen-based Houthi group. It's one of the many Iranian proxies in West Asia. Iran calls its proxies the axis of resistance. This axis includes the Houthis in Yemen, Hamas in Gaza, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and various militias in Iraq and Syria. Iran is considered the leader of this anti-West, anti-Israel axis. Right now, the entire coalition is up in arms over Israel's actions against Hamas in Gaza. They are all acting in their own way to show solidarity with the Palestinians and to try and hurt Israel. The Houthis have taken to attacking ships in the Red Sea. The Red Sea is part of a major global trade route. Ships pass through it and enter the Mediterranean Sea via the Suez Canal. It's the most efficient way to transport goods from Asia to Europe. The Houthis say they are targeting ships bound for or affiliated with Israel, but their attacks have spooked almost every other ship as well. Freight rates are up, shipping insurance has spiked, and many vessels are avoiding the Red Sea route altogether. They are taking the longer route via the Cape of Good Hope off South Africa. This means that trade is becoming more expensive, which is a problem for major exporters like China. China wants global trade to go back to the way it was, and it is now reportedly asking Iran to rein in its proxy. Why would Tehran listen to Beijing? Because China is one of the few nations that engages directly with Iran. It reportedly bought 90% of Iran's crude oil exports last year. It sounds like a lot, but that wasn't much for the oil-guzzling nation. Iranian crude only contributed to 10% of China's crude imports, meaning it's an asymmetric relationship where China holds the leverage. It hopes to use that leverage to get Iran to stop the Houthis. But will this work? Because Iran is in a delicate situation. It can't publicly ask the Houthis to stop. It has a reputation to maintain as the leader of the axis of resistance. Iran's status would take a hit if anyone found out it bent under Chinese pressure. But that isn't the only dilemma. Iran also has an opportunity. The report says that Tehran is unhappy with the slow pace of Chinese investment in the country. China and Iran signed a 25-year cooperation agreement in 2021. But China has invested only $185 million in Iran since then. Compare this with the billions Beijing has vowed to invest in Saudi Arabia, Iran's one-time nemesis. It could try and get Beijing to open its coffers in exchange for making the Houthis back down. Iran has a lot at stake. There's ample risk and reward in defying the dragon. We'll soon find out what path Tehran chooses to take.